all-time favorite songs by Shemfe. He's here in the studios with us and he's dancing to his own song. It's nice to see. I can't wait for us to have that conversation. But if you've heard about Apollo, pink eye, conjunctivitis, we're going to talk about it now. Our doctor is already here with us, Dr. Raphael Che Bafo, and he brought a big eye with him. Doc, this is a very big eye.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
How are you doing, by the way?
You're welcome. You're welcome to the show.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How many cases of conjunctivitis have you had so far?
I've had about 7 cases.
7 cases this month alone, right?
Yes, this month.
Okay, so it means that it's out there. There's an outbreak of it.
Yes, there's an outbreak.
Fantastic. That's why we believe this conversation is rife. So we want to talk about it. Now, you asking whose eye this is?
Yes. You brought a big cyclops eye to show us. But tell us, first of all, what it is. What is Apollo?
Okay, so Apollo, in the medical terms, is acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis. As acute hemorrhage. I'll break the terms down, so don't worry.
Yeah, but I hear hemorrhage.
Yes.
So it means there's blood something somewhere.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so acute, it has a sudden onset.
Okay.
And then hemorrhagic, just like you said, hemorrhage means there's a leakage of blood through the blood vessel. So when the blood vessel is ruptured and the blood leaks through, that's hemorrhage. And conjunctivitis, which is an inflammation of the conjunctiva. So acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis.
I like how you think I know what the conjunctiva is.
I know, right?
So I'll explain. I have the dummy eye here, so don't worry.
Okay. So it's a sudden onset.
Yes.
It's acute. So one moment you don't have it, next thing you know,
you have it.
Yes. How do you get it?
So I think the first case of Apollo was described in Ghana. I think in 1969. I think it got the term Apollo because there was the Apollo 11 landing on the moon in 1969. So the first case of this acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis was identified in Ghana. So
in the world?
Yes.
It was first identified in Ghana. So we are patient 0. Yeah. Oh, I see. Is it a black person problem?
No.
Anyone can get it?
Anyone can get it, yeah.
I see. And it was first discovered in 1969.
Yes, 1969.
When the Apollo landed on the moon.
Yes.
And that's how we got the name.
Yeah, Apollo.
Interesting history. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you get it?
Okay, so it's a viral infection. So it can be spread through contact with persons who have the condition. And according to the history, it is really spread in the rainy seasons. And that's when the outbreak becomes an epidemic. What's
the connection between the rain and the spread?
So I'm thinking that there is no direct connection, but I'm thinking that the rain, during rainy season, the weather becomes cold. And then the cold environment is a very good medium for activities of viruses. Okay. Just like in other seasons, there's this common cold becomes very, very rampant during the cold season. So I'm thinking it has that kind of connection. Yeah.
I see. So during the rainy season, like now, it's very easy to catch it.
Yes.
And you get it through contact with infected persons.
Yeah.
How about when you look in their eyes?
That is a myth.
It's not true.
No, I don't. No, Doc. That one there, it's very, 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 very true. Because the last time I caught it, that's the way I caught it. I just looked at the person and then that was it.
That is a myth.
And I'll say it's psychological.
It's psychological.
Yes,
it's a myth. Because how can a virus be transferred from one person to the other just by looking into the eyes?
It is possible. What if I'm in love with the person?
We've been lied to our whole lives.
Yeah. So just like COVID, if you've not had, COVID is coronavirus, virus, even HIV virus. So there must be contact. There must be some kind of contact.
Okay, so then it means that the person who has it probably touched the eye or something.
And then you had a handshake.
Okay.
And inadvertently you touched your eye.
Or probably they borrowed your pen, you wrote with it, and then you touched your eye. And then how about if you touch other parts of your face? Can you still get it?
Yes, it's
apart
possible.
From the eyes?
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can the virus live or exist on surfaces?
Yes, it does.
So if a person touches a surface and you also touch it, you can get it. You can transfer the virus from the surface to your eyes. Yeah. Interesting. I see. So basically, it's spread like COVID.
Yes, it's spread like COVID.
But we are told that for COVID, when you come into contact with a person who's contracted it already, it takes about 14 days for it to start reflecting on you? Is it the same thing?
That is the incubation
period.
Yeah, I think it's lesser for the Apollo.
It's less?
Yes.
I see.
Because I know someone who encountered a makeup artist during the day. By evening, she had it.
Yeah. So the incubation period is very short.
Okay, now that's scary. I'm thinking about all the makeup artists I've encountered in the last 5 days. Okay, so what are we supposed to do now to protect ourselves from getting it?
So just like it is spread through person-to-person contact, you have to reduce. At this moment, there is an epidemic case in Ghana, so you have to reduce person-to-person contact.
Is this at the point where we are calling this an epidemic?
Yes.
Already?
In Ghana, yes. It has reached an epidemic stage.
7 cases already.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes it an epidemic?
Because of the number.
7
numbers.
No, I have seen 7 cases.
The numbers are low.
alone.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So for Ghana, there have been a lot of cases.
Okay.
So it has become a public health challenge now.
Okay. Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
So you limit person-to-person contact, handshake and all that, touching faces, surfaces and all that. Also, you don't have to be touching your eyes. Okay.
The moment you say don't touch your eyes, my eyes begin to itch.
Psychological.
Okay, so don't touch your eyes. Limit person-to-person contact. Are we supposed to use sanitizers?
You have to use sanitizer, just like the COVID.
So sanitizers will help?
Will help.
Okay.
Yes, and then when you shake someone, make sure you just sanitize your hands after that.
What about young children in school? Surely you can't tell them not to touch each other or...
So that is a problem.
Because I noticed that as soon as school reopens, all of these viral diseases become popular. The flu, now Apollo, and so on.
Yeah.
I don't have any science to prove, but I noticed that, you know, there's also an outbreak of chicken pox. After they went to school about 10 days ago. So how are we supposed to help children? For teachers watching and caregivers?
Okay, so for the children, you have to educate them. That's the most important aspect. Okay, during this, you don't just give a child a handkerchief to use, maybe to touch their face or to wipe their face. Because if they have an infection, they wipe, their friend will touch it, and then it transfers. So the most important thing to be done now is to educate the children about the spread, and that they should limit their activity, they should limit their contact with their friends and all that. Yeah.
After you get it, how are you supposed to manage it or treat it? Is it treatable?
Yes, it's treatable. Apollo is a self-limiting condition. What it means is that it goes by itself. It takes, let's say, 1 to 2 weeks, and it's gone by itself.
2 weeks?
1 to 2 weeks, yeah.
Of itchy eyes?
Yeah.
Wow.
But of course, there are treatments for it to speed up the recovery, right?
Yes.
Or to make it less uncomfortable at least?
Yes.
Okay,
so
what can you do?
So, just like I said, it's a self-limiting condition. It goes by itself. But if you have the condition and then you go and see your optometrist, the doctor will prescribe some medications for you, artificial tears to provide general comfort for the eye, maybe antibiotics to prevent secondary infection. Secondary infection means that, you know, when the integrity of the eye is compromised as a result of the Apollo, other microorganisms might want to capitalize on that. Okay, so the doctor will give you some prophylactic treatment. What means that preventive treatment. Yeah, so that's what it's usually.
I hear if you get Apollo and you open your eyes into seawater or breast milk, it can heal it. Is it true?
That is not true.
Both of them are not true.
It's not true. And it's very dangerous because seawater is not sterile. There are a whole lot of microorganisms in the sea. So I am thinking that because, I've not read this, but I'm thinking that because seawater has a lot of salt, and salt can be effective against some bacterial conditions, so they may want to use
But
that.
many people bathe in seawater when they catch Apollo. And it's very painful.
Yeah.
It's very painful because of the salty nature of it.
Solution. Yeah. So it will become very, very painful.
But how do I know when I have Apollo? What are the symptoms? Okay,
so you first have redness. So let's look at the condition, conjunctivitis. That means the conjunctiva is inflamed.
Show me the conjunctiva.
Exactly.
Okay, so the conjunctiva is very difficult. So I brought in a rubber to explain what the conjunctiva is.
Okay.
Just
So lots of things inside the eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the conjunctiva.
Let's face the camera this way. Okay.
It's a lining, like this rubber is like the conjunctiva.
Okay.
It's a lining on the white.
Okay.
The white part of the eye is called the sclera.
Okay.
So the conjunctiva is a lining. It's a very thin film, just like this rubber.
Okay.
On the white part of the eye, which is the sclera. It also lines the inner part of the eyelid. So when you depress your eyelid like this, let's take it. When you depress your eyelid like that, you see what you see, the red thing, you see the conjunctiva first.
Okay.
Okay, so that is inflammation of the conjunctiva. That means there is an infection.
Okay.
Okay, and then the signs that accompany inflammation, redness, pain, loss of function, and other things will show you.
Okay. Is there a way we can prevent it? Like, for example, during COVID, people were constantly recommending that we stay on zinc and vitamin C, soluble vitamin C, and so on, as measures to mitigate against it. Is there a way to, help lower your risk of getting it? Okay,
so basically, when you talk about the inflammatory process, I always want to start from the bottom and build up. When you talk about the inflammatory process, what it means is that there is an irritant or there is an invasion at a part of the body. And the body has immune cells, or what you call the soldiers of the body. So they will go and fight.
Okay.
So this condition, the body's immune system cannot fight it, okay?
Oh.
Because it will go by itself. Oh. But what you will do is to give him some vitamins, give the soldiers some vitamins and other things to boost their energy so that they can fight it well. So the zinc and then the vitamin C, which are antioxidants, will help in the fighting.
Okay. Does it require you to remove yourself from your family or isolate?
Yes, when you contract it, you need to isolate.
You need to isolate?
Yes.
I see.
Quarantine yourself.
Quarantine yourself. Yeah. Don't come to work.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins. Rest,
I guess.
Rest
is important for the body, just because of the immune system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it takes a maximum of 2 weeks to clear.
Yeah, to clear by itself.
I see.
But if after 2 weeks it's not clearing, what does that mean?
So that could be that, the 2 weeks is not the timeline. Yes.
Okay.
You can go beyond, a little beyond the 2 weeks. But you can rely and then wait when you are sure that it's Apollo. I know that during a time like this, other conditions can mimic Apollo, and people will think, oh, I have Apollo, and they will not go and see the doctor. Meanwhile, the condition may not be Apollo.
Which other conditions are these?
Can manifest as redness. You can have bacterial conjunctivitis, uveitis, keratitis, or let me see.
They all look like Apollo?
Yes, they can present like Apollo.
How do I tell the difference?
For you, it might be difficult.
You have to go and see the
optometrist.
Optometrist.
Yes.
To tell the difference. So when you have it, it's something that needs a doctor. Yes. It's not something you can manage at home.
Well, you may want to manage, but that's not the best.
Okay.
Yeah, go and see a doctor. I'll give you some medications, ocular lubricant, and then some antibiotics. After he or she has confirmed that this is Apollo. Yeah.
Okay. And then you can start treating it.
Yes.
Okay. Does it affect children differently from the way it affects adults?
It's the same thing.
It's the same for both children and adults.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to manage the itchy sensation that comes with it? Okay. So
what you can do is that you can get chilled water to manage the inflammation.
Chilled water?
Yes. When someone gets hurt, and they say there is a lump, they put ice block, that kind of thing is good. It's to manage the inflammation. So you can do the same thing. Get some chilled water in some sachet water, and then you just put it on the eye.
On the eye like this?
Yeah, you close the eye, and then you put it on the lids.
While still in the bag? So yes. You don't open your eyes into it?
No, that will be difficult, and it will be painful, too painful.
It will be painful?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not recommended?
Are there eye drops for it as well?
Yes, there are eye drops, but that is not really aimed at treating the Apollo itself because it's not treatable.
It's just supposed to manage it,
manage the symptoms. Just like the COVID, when it came, we didn't get any cure for COVID.
Yes.
But we were managing the symptoms.
Does it affect your diet and your appetite for food?
Well, there might be a link, but the correlation might not be so strong.
Okay.
When there is an inflammation, there can be a fever. Fever is high body temperature. So if there is a fever in the person, it can result in that loss of appetite and all those things.
Okay.
How many times can one catch Apollo in their lifetime?
Well, for that, there is no research to confirm. But usually what happens is that when it comes to the number of times by which you can contract an infection, it depends on the body's immune response. So for some conditions, when you have it, your body builds an immune response against it.
Okay.
The soldiers are armed against that condition. So the next time they come, they're already armed, so the condition will not appear at all. I don't know if you get the scenario.
Yeah.
For some other conditions, they are very tricky. They will go and then manifest themselves in a different way when they come.
Are there high-risk patients, people who are very highly likely to get it?
Well, basically, when you have a compromised structure of the eye, like the conjunctiva, maybe some people who have some conjunctiva injuries and all that.
Okay, but not people who have other immune-related diseases?
Well, there might be that connection, but it's not so strong.
Okay, and people who wear glasses, it doesn't mean that they are immune from it?
No.
Because I saw on Twitter, someone said
that if you wear glasses,
those of us who wear glasses, this is the one thing that we are safe from. And I'm like, okay.
How is that true?
Well,
but then, you know, because we believe the whole, if you expose your eyes to someone who has it and you can see them, then you also get it. So I guess when you wear glasses, there's a shield.
Yeah.
So you don't. And then people who have it also
that's not true,
like to wear sunglasses.
It can limit the risk to an extent.
Oh, it can.
It can, because logically, when you look at it, the only way you can get it is contact with the eye. So as if you shake hands with someone, right now I have glasses on, and I know that consciously I'm not supposed to touch my eye. So if my hand is going and touches the glass, I realize that, okay, I'm not supposed to touch my eye.
That's it.
That's it.
Then tomorrow, we're all wearing glasses.
Yeah. Also, people who have Apollo would normally wear sunglasses.
Yes.
And it's supposed to shield you from getting it.
Yes.
So,
basically, it can help manage the symptoms.
Okay,
because one of the symptoms is photophobia. That means light sensitivity. Your eyes become very sensitive to light. So you wear something to shield you from the sun. And it can also limit.
So it's all scientific?
Yeah.
Interesting. I see. Well, thank you so much for bringing us all the information we need to know about Apollo pink eye conjunctivitis. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye? Okay, so about the management, just like you said, some people use seawater, breast milk. I hear even urine.
Urine?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's very, very risky. Yeah, it's very, very risky. You have to go and see your optometrist, or if nothing at all, you just remain at home and then observe the symptoms, the recommendations I've given, and you'll be fine. So you don't have to go and then add anything to it. And you have to be also conscious of the fact that other conditions can mimic Apollo, especially at a time like this. So when you have red eye, don't just think it is Apollo. Maybe you are tired. Yeah. Or it's a different condition altogether. Okay. So you have to go and see the right person. All right. Dr. Raphael Che-Bafo. Yes, madam. Thank you so much for coming, for teaching us, for bringing this giant eye to show us exactly what the conjunctiva is and the things we need to do and not to do if we have Apollo. So you've heard a doctor. Don't put urine in your eyes. I can't even begin to imagine how you think it's cute to do that. Don't put breast milk in your eyes. Don't put breast milk in your eyes. Don't put seawater, which is not safe. It has a lot of bacteria. It's not sterile. You don't want to put that in your eyes. And if you have it, see your doctor for medication to manage it. It's not treatable. But between 2 weeks and just a little over 2 weeks, you'll feel better. And if possible, self-isolate so that the people in your home and your workplace will not get it too. There is an outbreak. It's an epidemic at this point. And so take care of yourself and the people in your lives.